much more. There's a whole range of biographies about Major League Baseball players. I've selected quite a few: Sammy Sosa, Roberto Clemente, Ken Griffey Jr. and his son, Ken Griffey Jr., and Lou Gehrig. There's a whole range. Babe Ruth, you could name numerous, and there's all kinds of different interests. The good thing about Sammy Sosa's book, it is written in both Spanish and English. So for those ESOL students, that they want to read the version in Spanish and then read it again in English, it's written front to back. They can read those biographies. And then what my suggestion is that we take a look at those biographies, and then they're going to choose a Major League player that they want to write about, and they're going to create their own biography of that Major League player. So it's a good way to introduce them both to reading and then to have them write something. Another thing in language arts, they're going to research what it takes to qualify for the Major League Hall of Fame, and then they're going to write a persuasive letter to the commissioner of Major League Baseball nominating their favorite player. And it's going to be one of those letters that we don't actually send, so they're going to write it, but we're not going to send it. And these are just a few of the Major League Baseball players that are in the Hall of Fame: Hank Aaron, Nolan Ryan, Roberto Clemente, Babe Ruth. There is many baseball players in the Hall of Fame. So this is a good way to get them to write a persuasive piece and do some research as well. So, and then more in math. This is a great book, How Baseball Managers Use Math. We're going to do a project on calculating earned run averages and batting averages, and then also how they calculate the Major League standings and the difference between how many games up a team is or whatever. But this book is great because it answers that question. Well, how are we ever going to use calculating averages, or how are we ever going to use looking at different means, modes, and things like that? This book will really help them understand that there is things in the real world, and math is one of those things that's real important to baseball teams. So, and then more in fine arts. Students will perform a play about Casey at the bat. So once we read it in theater arts, they're going to go and do a play. They're going to take on the role of characters. They're going to listen to James Earl Jones, one of my favorite all-time actors, and I love his voice, and I think this would be a great thing for them to listen to Casey at the bat again and hear how his inflection on the words just really help you understand the feeling and the meaning behind the poem. So they can either choose the original poem, or they can choose one that they wrote in language arts class that has an alternate ending. I think as a class we would make that decision. We kind of read through some of those that have the alternate ending and then decide, do we want to use the original one, or do we want to create our own material? So. So, as I sum up the thematic unit on baseball, I would just say that I think baseball is one of those things across the curriculum that would be a great thematic unit. I think it would be great to do it in the spring when baseball is really kicking off, in April when opening day is. And to introduce some of those things. There's so much more that you can do with it. There's a lot of baseball games out there on the computer that you can go out and have kids in math calculate, do multiplication or addition. It could be, my grade level is middle school, but it would be great for elementary as well. So I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Thank you.